The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power, has criticised Syria and its allies for the atrocities committed in the lead-up to the ceasefire.
The regime of Bashar al-Assad, Russia, Iran, and their affiliated militia are the ones responsible for what the UN called a complete meltdown of humanity. And they are showing no mercy. No mercy despite their territorial conquest. Even now, no mercy. In the last 24 hours alone, pro-Assad forces reportedly killed at least 82 civilians, including 11 women and 13 children. These forces are reportedly entering homes and executing civilians on the spot, as we have heard. And according to the Office for the High Commissioner of Human Rights, foreign militias like Iraqi Harakat al-Nujaba organization are involved in these killings.
But Syria's ambassador to the United Nations, Bashar Jafari, rejected those allegations. He says the regime forces are not targeting civilians, they're targeting terrorists.
I denounce and reject all fabricated reports used by the delegations of the United States, France and the United Kingdom, as well as their partners and allies, which claim that the Syrian government is deliberately targeting civilians in Aleppo. I would like to reiterate that the actions of the Syrian government since the very outbreak of operations in Aleppo, whether that be the opening of an exit road to allow people to flee and to allow for the provision of aid, including shelters and medical aid and food. All the actions we've taken with regard to Aleppo have had the overarching goal of protecting civilians and of preserving life.
Well, TRT World's Washington, D.C. correspondent Colin Campbell says lawmakers in the U.S. are skeptical about the Turkey-Russia brokered ceasefire.
U.S. State Department spokesman John Kirby says that he was unaware of negotiations between Russia and Turkey when it came to the ceasefire in Syria. As we know right now, there's a ceasefire between the Assad-led forces in Syria and rebels as they try to get some humanitarian aid to people in the eastern part of Aleppo. However, U.S. lawmakers, especially those skeptical of the ceasefire, such as Senator John McCain from Arizona, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and Senator Lindsey Graham out of South Carolina, believe that the bloodshed will continue. They say they believe that Assad's forces will call a ceasefire until they can restock some of their supplies, and then the violence will continue. There are also warnings coming out of top officials in Washington that rebels themselves could carry out separate attacks in various parts of Syria as negotiations continue and the ceasefire is holding. Many in Washington are wondering how long the ceasefire will hold and just what the details of this ceasefire are. As I said before, the State Department did have some skepticism and mixed signals coming about how this ceasefire was negotiated, and we will learn more details throughout this week as to where the U.S.'s place is in all of these negotiations between the ceasefire agreement in Syria between Russia and Turkey and NATO allies.